we're now in Kuching, which is the major city of Sarawak, which is the other province in Malaysian Borneo. Before we were in Sabah, now we're in Sarawak. So after we did the Kinabalu climb, which we started at 2 a.m., we didn't get onto our flight until, 10:30 p.m. We got here around like midnight. It ended up being a 24-hour day basically for us, 24 hours something. So we slept in all day. This is like our first venture out into the city. We took a taxi here from the airport to a hotel that we had researched beforehand but didn't book in advance. That's usually the way we do it. It was full. It was terrible timing for something like that to happen because it was like midnight and we had to walk around. We were in pain from the climb.
And awake for 24 hours.
Yeah, and so we walked around. We ended up going into that Hilton back there. It was so expensive. I think it was like 500 ringgits per night, which is like, I don't even know what that is. Look it up if you want to know. So we ended up walking from there to that place over there, Pullman.
It's almost $200.
Almost 200, okay. So then we ended up at that place, Pullman. It was a little bit better. It ended up being 333 ringgits.
Which is $90.
$90, yeah. So we went for it. We splurged. That's by far the most expensive room we've had on this trip. It was also by far the nicest.
It was so pretty.
17th floor, so the view was great. Really, really nice room. It was a deluxe room. That was the only thing they had available. We're not sure if we believe that. What really pissed us off though is it was a 500 megabyte limit of internet usage per day, which we exceeded because we tried uploading one of the vlogs and it exceeded it in like an hour. And you spend that much money and you get a limited amount of internet. Even like the crappiest hostels that we've stayed in at like dirt cheap prices. Okay, granted they don't have the best internet, but it's always unlimited. Never do they give you a limit. So yeah, we're just getting our bearings again. We've literally left the hotel like 10 minutes ago. So this is kind of our first one to the city. This here, let's see what it's called. Tua Pek Tong. It's a Chinese temple. So I guess we'll go see what that's all about and then maybe get something to eat.
Try the movie theater and get some real popcorn, maybe?
Yeah. Alright, let's do it.
Alright. I forgot to press record.
You didn't press record?
Oh my god, just kidding.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. We would have just did it. We assume this is the cat statue in Kuching. We read that Kuching in Malay means cat, so a lot of people call it the cat city, although Kuching gets its name from a different language, I think probably Chinese or something. So it's not really correct, but everyone calls it the cat city. And builds cat statues. This dog down here is just sitting up underneath of this truck. I'm not sure how. It's like there's like a hidden like cavern inside the truck. I don't know how he's fitting. Kuching is known as the cleanest city in Malaysia, and they take their pride in it. And it is a lot cleaner, I would say. You haven't complained about the trash in about 3 hours of being here, so I'm sure that you agree.
I do agree.
It is really nice looking. Much nicer looking city, and more especially a much better smelling city than the other cities we've been to. KK was like one of the worst smelling cities I think I've ever been to.
Yeah.
It just smells so weird and bad in every corner we turn.
That's a good point.
And I think we commented earlier how a lot of the smells were smells that we've never even smelt before, so it was like, couldn't even identify the smells, so that made them worse. But this just smells like normal air, so it's kind of refreshing. There's this building with a gold roof on the river in Kuching, and that's all we know about it. We don't even know what it is. It looks cool.
Yeah, Justin kept pointing and telling me, like, look at that building, look at that building. And I thought he was pointing at this. And I was like, okay, honey, sure.
This little stretch that we're on now is called the main bazaar. And it's kind of like the Times Square of Kuching. It's It's where all the tourists go and where everyone goes to sell their goods at the highest prices.
I love this little town. It's very quaint.
So it's kind of a bad day. It's raining. It's been raining all day, pretty heavily. So we've just been eating and drinking all day. And now we're here to eat more. We finally found the Top Spot food court. One peculiar thing about Malaysia is that we can't figure out how these buildings are designed. Like you go into the building from the ground floor, and for instance, this building, the food court is on the top floor. So we went into the elevator and just went to the highest floor we could, and then we got out, but there was no food court, and we realized we needed to find another elevator to go up 6 more floors. So here we are. Anyway, like all the malls, and I guess this is what this is a mall. They're just really poorly designed, and you can't ever figure them out. You have to take multiple elevators to get to like different parts of the building.
In several different cities in Borneo, that's happened to us.
It's our last day in Kuching, last day in Malaysia, last day in Borneo. And we're heading to Bako National Park, which is one of the main things to do here. It's not really a great day, yet again. It's pouring. It poured all day yesterday. We just read before we left that the rainy season ends in February, and quote, in March, you would be very unlucky to have 2 days consecutively of non-stop rain. And that's exactly what we had. Furthermore, you take boats out to Bako National Park, and they said the boats don't even run in, I guess, bad weather, treacherous weather, whatever. So we're gonna try to take a 1 hour long bus to get there, which we don't even know if we're at the bus stop right now. And if we do get there, we don't even know if the bus is going to run or not. And then if the boat will run. If the boat does run, we don't even know if it's going to be worth it to be there. But it's the whole reason we flew here, to go there, so we kind of are just going to do it and hope for the best. Also, an interesting note is that Bako is rated the second best thing to do in Kuching on TripAdvisor, and the first best thing to do is the monkey bar, which is really interesting that like a bar is the best thing to do. So we went there the other night and we were not impressed. We were sitting on a really comfy sofa and we were drinking and we had a hookah, we were spending money. And they came and they like kicked us out because they said there was a bigger group than us that wanted to sit there. And we thought that was really rude. I think that like that's really never happened to me before anywhere. So it kind of left a bad taste in our mouth, and also like we weren't really into the atmosphere that everyone raves about anyway. It was just packed with like annoying people, and I didn't get it. So, go monkey bar.